Hey, it's the Real Estate G, and I wanted to create this quick bonus video just to kind of give you an idea of what your organizational charts look like in your business structure. Like I said, right now we're bootstrapping the business, so you're typically starting off as a sole proprietor, which means you don't have a whole lot of upfront and illegal fees. Right now, you're really just coming up with the name that you want to look to operate under, and you're gonna check GoDaddy to see if that name is available. You can also check with the Secretary of State's office in your local state, because when you're ready to get an LLC, you're likely going to set that up in the state that you do business with primarily. Um, Now, yeah, they do have LLCs and different benefits from setting them up in certain states like Wyoming or Nevada. But when you're getting started, that's not necessary. Um, the anonymity is something that's important down the road, but out of the gate, not a big deal. So, what I would suggest is start brainstorming on some names for your business, um, and just start, promoting that and operating. Um, you don't even need a fancy logo. You can set up a logo through Canva, which is a graphic platform. You can put something simple together. My first company, Rescue Home Buyers, I actually created the logo myself. Bought a $10 CD, logo design CD, and went in and put it together. And I still use that logo to this day. In fact, I take a lot of pride in the logo. It came out really well. And I may share that with you guys at some point. But um, and so right now, like I said, I wanted to just go over the organizational chart just to give you guys an idea of what that looks like. Again, so this is another resource that I have with Fortune Builders. So company role and responsibility. Like I said, Fortune Builders taught me the business of real estate. Um, uh, Dan Merrill, if you don't know his story, he played for the NFL. He graduated from Yale University. When he started off, he was in New Haven, Connecticut, and retired from football and had a restaurant, and then transitioned into real estate with a couple of his friends and college buddies. And now he's a multimillionaire and has a huge multi-million-dollar real estate business where they do everything from fixing and flipping and syndication and coaching and programs, digital and otherwise. And so this is just the company responsibility. And so, you're going to be the entrepreneur. So you're typically, at the top of the pyramid, if you will. And here's different departments that you want to have. And notice how it starts from left to right, or you can read it from left to right: marketing and acquisitions. That's the area of the bird dog, in my opinion. So you don't have to have all these other things figured out. You may never get into the financing part because your immediate financing strategy is going to be related to a bird dog fee and or a wholesale fee. So that's how you're going to be making revenue out of the gate with little to no cash, little to no credit, and little to no experience. Um, and so marketing is going to play a huge part of what you're doing as you get going. As you develop your understanding of how to analyze and negotiate offers and contracts, you'll start getting more into the financing and the capital raising aspect of things. um, but for right now, like I said, the main source of capital is going to be using the wholesale strategy or even joint venture partnerships and relationship, and the JV. You're partnering up with experienced investors, i.e., myself and other people that you find in your network. The project management piece. If you're going to be rehabbing a property, once you've secured the property, once you closed the deal and got it funded, now you're going to start the renovation process, and that's going to take some job. You're negotiating with contractors on labor and material costs, and you're managing, the punch list and step by step, and making sure that the contractor is executing on your scope of work. which we'll have some subsequent trainings in my next program, which is the um, Birddog Bootstrap Masterclass, and that's going to be a $997 product, $1,000. That'll come with weekly coaching calls, and it's a little bit more interactive and more detailed of a program. Um, and so look out for that. But with the sales manager, typically you're gonna get into some, you're gonna identify some real estate agents. They're gonna handle the disposition of selling your property uh, on the market. It's great to use real estate agents because, um, well, at least on the sell side. On the buy side, is kind of 50-50. You want to work with experienced agents that are comfortable working with real estate investors, or at least coachable and teachable. But on the sell side, real estate agents do a great job at getting the deal done. They go, the distance a lot of the times, but you do want to vet and source your real estate agents. Look for both experience and also newbies as you build your relationships. And in the office and accounting and hiring, you're gonna want to look at, setting up some QuickBooks and/or working with a bookkeeper, and you want to establish that really out the gate, because as you start making revenue in your business and accumulating expenses, you want to track that, because the whole purpose of having a business is to position yourself for tax advantages. That's one of the key reasons why you want to get into real estate, and you want to you become an entrepreneur and have a business, is to position yourself for taxes. Because when it comes to creating wealth, in addition to making money, it's not so much about how much money you make all the time. It's also about how much money you keep. And then it's also about how much cash flow that you generate. And that last part is not something that, people point out and really talk about. Cash flow is king. That's really what it's about at the end of the day. And if you want to accomplish financial independence, financial freedom in a very short period of time, focus on cash flow, creating revenue streams that are passive or semi-passive and automated. So marketing and acquisitions is a huge, huge aspect of your business. That's where, the party starts. And so you can see some of the elements and some of the skills that you're going to want to develop. Like the marketing plan, I just gave you the basic plan to get started as you build your brand, the seller lead interviews, all of those, keep managing your leads. There are some different resources that are available to track your leads, and we'll get into that. Um, but like I said, for the blueprint, you don't really need to go into great detail with that. A Google Doc or an Excel spreadsheet should be sufficient as you get started. Evaluating deals, property contracts, negotiating. So this lays it out, and you can start to notice what you need to do. Follow up is a huge, huge part of success in any business. Okay, so financing and capital. Like I said, this is a huge part of your business. When you're not looking for motivated sellers, which is the marketing and acquisitions, you're raising capital, and that's building relationships, um, both in and out of the business, and lining up capital, private money, hard money. That's something that you should be actively doing, but it's not something that, in my opinion, you should wait around for. A lot of times, a lot of people want you to have all the money figured out. And I think you should have a good idea of who you can talk to and start having these conversations, planting some seeds with potential money partners. Definitely a good thing to do. I just wouldn't sit around waiting for the money to be resolved, because a lot of that's going to be handled as you secure these leads and negotiate contracts. Um, so just to kind of give you a ballpark figure. If you can come up with $500 to $1,000, or between 1,000 and 5,000, that'll help you transition from a bird dog into a wholesaler pretty easily, because in most cases, when you're securing the contracts on these purchase and sales agreements, your initial earnest money deposit is in the neighborhood of from say $100 to $1,000, and in some cases it's 5,000 depending on your lead source. The difference between a private money is relationship, and hard money is people that are actively lending money to investors. So that's the biggest difference. Okay, sales manager. So again, real estate agents make good sales managers. Working with a good team of real estate agents or real estate brokers, they're going to be doing the open house. They're going to be putting the flyers, email blasts, listing it on the MLS. They can help with negotiations and establishing escrow. So you're going to want to start looking for title companies in your area where you're doing business, and working with a good agent. That's going to be a great resource to help you identify some of these people that you want to put on your team. All right. Rehab manager, building relationships with contractor. This is the area where most people have the most challenges working with their contractors. So you really want to be very transparent, very straightforward, never sugarcoat, be direct with your contractors. Don't give them any rope, because in I don't want to say never pay them up front for work, but what I've done in the past is I've paid for materials to get started. I don't pay for labor up front ever. That's not something that I would do. But I would front the material cost to get the project going, especially if I got a good price on the labor and in the whole bid. Um, but you want to demonstrate that you do have access to the capital, because they're taking some risk by not getting money up front as well. So it is a give and take. And there's 6 critical documents that I'm going to be going over in the training that I'm going to create for rehabbing. That's not in this program, because you really don't have to deep dive into the project management piece. That's going to be presented in the master training. Like I said, this is really just to get your marketing business going, because that's how you're going to structure your real estate business. My real estate business is a marketing consultant company for real estate investors, and the reason being is because that business model is more favorable when it comes to securing business lines of credit. And so all these things that I'm sharing with you is going to cut your learning curve, and it's a lot of specialized knowledge from different aspects, not just real estate specific. Really deep into marketing, deep into mindset, deep into strategies, acquisition strategies, negotiation, uh, business management, leadership. A lot of these keys, I have mentors and coaches, and I'm actively developing myself so that I'm better able to share and get results for not just you, but myself as well. Um, but it's good to see this organizational chart, because it puts it all in perspective for you. you know so the project manager, their roles and responsibilities: develop, update material lists, scope of work, project bidding, hiring GCs with the critical documents, and then overseeing the GC, the general contractor. And that's a role that, depending on the state you live in, you may want to take on that responsibility and get the necessary licenses and or meet the requirements to be a general contractor. That way you can actually be your own general contractor and set up a different business in conjunction with your real estate investing business, because that's an expense you're going to have, and you can better control and manage that piece. It's just an idea. Office and accounting and hiring, company functions, office manager, bookkeeper, staff training systems. Right now, a lot of investors are working with virtual assistants, like in the Philippines. So Upwork, Fiverr is a great place to start to find them. And The way that I would go about that is, again, it's the 4 P's: promote, profit, process, and people. So as you promote and profit, you want to document your process. And then as you document your process, then that's when you'll be ready to bring in people, i.e., virtual assistants or VAs, to take on some of those roles and responsibilities. And once you get there, if you've done the job correctly, you should have some revenue in your business where you can afford to pay them. A lot of times, the VAs from overseas are very inexpensive. And so it is a great business expense. Um, and it's worth it because it frees up your time to work in your highest and best use of time. And so another thing, you know, you may want to consider also becoming a coach and mentor um, in the space as well. As you learn and develop, you're going to want to find some people that are interested in learning right alongside of you and start to share this information, and maybe even position yourself to charge them, to at least get them to the next step. And you don't need to be the guru. You don't need to know everything. You just really want to stay a step ahead of them. And so as you get started, you know, um, it's easy, and I find that it helps me learn things better when I'm also studying under someone and then also teaching someone else. And so that's a concept that you might want to consider taking on. And as you build out your team, having some bird dogs of your own, to help find off market deals. And what I would do is I would be sharing the Who Do You Know script with them, having them put together a list of 100 people that they know, having that conversation, and then actually going over the seller lead sheet with them, so that when they do generate leads, that they can complete the lead sheet, and then we can come together, figure out what strategy works best for that particular deal, gather all the necessary information that we need to be able to make an offer and start making offers. And then the last thing that I'm going to leave you with is, now that you're a part of the Bird Dog factory, and then you're in my Birddog Bootstrap Boot Camp. Um, I have a product where, if you want to partner with me on a deal, so you generate a lead, you want to consider moving forward on the lead, whether wholesaling it or buying it to fix and flip it. Uh, Being that you're a part of this, my team now, with the and part of my network, um, you can earn 25% of the profit with that particular program. And I'm going to create a page to kind of go into depth about that and how that works. And so look for that in the membership site, in the membership back office. But appreciate your time. I hope this was helpful, and I'll be talking to you soon.